You know, I really like to eat. A lot. And very sadly for me, the only thing I got this morning is this apple. My last apple. Anyway, my favorite place to eat in all universe is in my mama's kitchen. But my second favorite place to eat is arguably on these railroad tracks. Sitting on the tracks and observing colorful hills of Jujuy. Roughly 3 years ago, I was traveling around South America. After hitchhiking around Patagonia, I decided to travel around the northern part of Argentina and to visit the infamous province of Salta, where a friend of mine, another long-term backpacker, was living. My plan was to visit Salta, see my mate, help him out with this permaculture project that he was running at that time, stay with him for a week or 2 or 3 and get myself a bicycle and move on. And then COVID-19 pandemic shook the world. And like many of us, I really didn't take it too seriously. And then sometime later, I learned that a complete lockdown was declared in all Argentina. So eventually I found myself trapped in the little village of San Agustin, in the middle of the province of Salta, at the mercy of my friend. But even then, I didn't take it too seriously. I thought, come on man, this can't last forever, maybe a couple of weeks, maybe a month or 2. And then weeks turned into months, and months turned into more months and more months. And eventually it was also announced that Argentina is shutting down all international flights for many months to come. I'm sorry. Eventually, my 2-week visit in Salta turned out to be 8-month quarantine epic, filled with many hikes, horses, and certain elements of paranoia. During those 8 months, I became de facto resident of San Agustin, probably the only European and the only gringo of the area. On one hand, my trip was a failure because I was trapped and couldn't travel no more. On the other hand, this quarantine was probably, arguably, the most spectacular 8-month experience I could have, filled with never-ending hikes around the mountains, gauchos riding around with horses, condors flying around the hills, and me being lost in all of that. But now I'm back in Salta, and I'm about to visit the village of San Agustin once more. I'm really missing the place, so this is almost like some sort of a homecoming story. And I really miss those hills where I used to hike for such a long time. I'm really looking forward to see those condors once more.
Los astros que alumbren mi ser, energía vital si no está. Yo me pierdo en la noche oscura, buscando una estrella para despertar. Pienso también en mi tierra natal, en sus cerros que abrazan al sol, en el canto profundo del monte, orquesta en la noche desde la oración. Y otra vez volver en samba, otra vez.
Now, my friends, if you're the type of person who likes to move around and discover the green hectares, the natural wonders of the world, it is very likely that at some point of your life you have had some remarkable moments while being outdoors. The type of moment that makes life worth living, or you like to revisit in your memories, in your dreams, when the existential crisis is hitting you real hard. Well, I had one of those moments, and one of those moments happened to me right there, in the green hills of Salta. You see, when I was stranded here during global pandemia, 8 months, I really took my time to roam around these hills and discover as much as I can. And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, I know every single one of these hills by heart. And during one particular morning, I was on top of that hill, the highest one, and I was just taking pictures of a landscape, and out of a sudden a giant shadow passed by. I looked up in the sky, and there was a condor passed right by my side. I could actually even smell it. I could smell this horrible odor of rotten flesh. And then another condor appeared, and then 2 more, like juvenile condors, and 4 of them were just flying right above my head, so I could take a bunch of pictures. The whole situation was really remarkable, almost surreal. At some point I felt like those weren't the birds that I'm observing, but some kind of a Mesozoic reptiles, you know, just flying way over my head. Giant birds. And here I am back again in Salta, not too far from the village of San Agustin. Tomorrow I'm planning to get up there and to wait for the condors. I'm not sure if this will play out so well this time. I mean, I cannot order condors to be there, but I'll try to do my best. And for tonight, I will stay here. We'll pitch my tent next to the river. I think the weather is slightly promising and I'm very likely to find some snakes tonight, so I'll stay in the lowlands for the night, but I'm definitely getting up there tomorrow. So the night is finally here, and for some reason I have some expectations for this night. It might be a failure, but to smooth things out a little bit, I still got some coca, some brand new coca leaves I bought in Salta, and a little confession: I wasn't chewing coca for last week or so, because after 2 months in Bolivian mountains, chewing coca every single day, all the time, you know, it became a little bit of a habit. So I took a break from coca for a week or so, but now the break is over. Let's celebrate. This will make me more focused, let's say. Oh yeah. So this one is so-called Serpiente coral falsa, false coral snake. Scientific name is Oxyrophus rhombifer, and it's arguably, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful snakes you can find in this particular area of Argentina. And they do get a little bit bigger. This is actually a young snake. They might get to about 1 meter, meter 20. And apparently they're pretty common in this area. This one got really lucky because I found it on the road, and there were actually a bunch of gauchos passing by. And usually, unluckily, if a gaucho finds a snake, he kills it. I try to teach them to do otherwise, just to keep the snakes alone, but sadly not always works this way. Nonetheless, that's a beautiful snake. It's really lucky first catch, you know. I'm really lucky tonight, I guess. Buenas noches. So the hill where I want to get is right there, but I need to cross the river. The water of this river, Rio Arenales, is considered to be relatively filthy. Sadly, it's slightly contaminated. What's worse, this dirty river flows through one of the most beautiful parts of Argentina, perhaps. But what I did, I just went to the stream nearby and I filled this bottle with the clean water, or cleaner water, and I will cross the river and then I'll wash my feet with this one, because it's just too dirty. It even smells a little bit. This land is your land, this land is my land, this land was made for you and me. I found it kind of fascinating how with only slight change of elevation, like slightly higher altitude, vegetation changes completely. Like just 5 kilometers ago, I was walking through basically desert, or like arid desert-like environment, and now here I am in this another green world, a bunch of trees, quebracho trees. So I decided to change my plan and not try to reach the top today, because my original idea was to pitch my tent somewhere slightly below the peak and sleep there and then climb up to the peak in the morning and wait for the condors. But I'm like 98% sure it will rain tonight. And also I do believe we might have a storm, which is very likely. Rain season, crazy storms, thunder, lightning, all that. At the moment I'm looking for some place to pitch my tent here in the forest level. I found some nice spring. I do have some water, which is good, but it's really hard to find any flat place to pitch my tent. So when I realized that it will rain soon, I was kind of desperately looking for some spot to pitch my tent, and believe me, there aren't too many flatlands in here, so this is the best place I could come up with. And then I was desperately trying to put the fire as fast as I can, and I did, because I still want to cook on a fire. But yeah, Rain spoils things a little bit. Lucky for me, I'm under many layers of different branches, bunch of leaves, so it's not bothering me that much at the moment. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So this morning, for last hour and a half or so, I'm busy with very annoying but important task. I'm taking water from the creek down below and I'm boiling it, and I'm filling these bottles. Already filled like 2. That's totally 3 liters. I need to fill 1 more and I'll be ready, because I'm not sure if I'll find any water up there. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Pura aqua aqua pura, pura aqua aqua pura. So some of you might be wondering, I found myself in a high altitude, mountains, pristine nature, National Geographic level stuff. So why am I not drinking water straight from the stream? It's supposed to be clean. Well, it's supposed to be, and then it's supposed to be not. I do believe that this water is way cleaner than any water you could find in a river in a valley down below. That's for sure. But actually, like an hour ago, maybe 300 meters downhill, I met a cow and cattle, horses roaming free all over the place. And this cow was literally taking a crap into the stream. So yeah, I don't think it's suitable for drinking. And even if it is, I wouldn't take a risk, unless with this thing or I boil it. Other than that, nope. I already had some severe water poisonings in my life, and I'm not looking forward to have another one. That's that. And I highly recommend you hikers out there not to take a risk for no reason. It's pointless, it's worthless, I'm pretty far away from civilization. If something happens, I'm in deep problem. Yeah, we're almost at the peak. And I actually just spotted a snake I've never seen before, and it ran away in the most clumsy fashion, so I'm still blaming myself for it. Damn. But we're almost at the peak, and this object that you see in front of me, it's a little house where gauchos, local cowboys, stay during their journeys, during their work in the hills. Because like in many hilly, mountainous areas of the world, like let's say in south of Europe as well, in northwestern Argentina, most of the cattle, cows, horses, they're just roaming all over the place, roaming free. And it's up to Mr. Gaucho to take care of them. Gauchos in this particular area of Argentina, they spend a lot of time in these hills, just riding around, looking for cattle, taking care of the herd, sometimes catching a few bulls or cows if it's needed. It's like never-ending mission, which is heavily romanticized in Argentinian folklore and literature, and not for no reason. It is really wild way of living. Damn, this is pretty much my size. Huh? I must say that I have chosen a really crappy path. There were like 3 and unfortunately I chose this one. In another place those would be just bushes, you know, but every single one of these covered with spikes and thorns. This one, this one. Whew, very nasty. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the condors is still here. It's pretty far away. I will quickly try to get up that hill and change the lens. Well, climbing up that hill is easier said than done. I've been there before a few times. It's really nice view and all that, and there are more chances that I will get closer to this condor that was flying around. However, there is no path, and I'm actually hungry, so and I have no snacks left. If I want to eat, I need to cook. I'm really not into mood of cooking at the moment. Once I'm back, yeah, so I will chew the rest of my coca leaves. Kills hunger. It gives us some energy. Such a miserable amount left. Like usual, the simplest things in life are the most enjoyable. Like these batatas, these sweet potatoes made on fire. I mean, they're so delicious. They're so delicious, it's almost obscene how delicious they are. I mean, they're so delicious they should be illegal. I mean, they're too delicious to be legal. That's how delicious these sweet potatoes are. Anyway, I went to the peak and actually I have seen 3 condors. And as I was climbing up, I saw some birds sitting on a rock. I saw it from the distance, from like far away, and I felt, oh, this must be a vulture, because there are a bunch of vultures flying all around. And honestly, I'm not that interested in them. But as I was getting closer, I realized that was a young condor, because they have different coloration slightly. And then it took off, and then 2 condors more. I assumed that was male and a female parents were just flying all around the peak, and I was trying my best to take some decent video, but I just checked them and I failed horribly. Apparently this tripod that I bought in Bolivia doesn't work well with my big lens that I have for mammal and bird photography, and yeah, my videos are pretty weak to say the least. So I think I won't even try anymore. Tomorrow my plan is to wake up very early in the morning, maybe 4 or 5 something, to climb either to this one or next peak and try to take some shots there. I mean, condors are flying all over the place all the time. You just need to pick the right peak at the right time, and the morning hours are really good for these two. So hopefully this will play out well, and at least I'll take some nice pictures. So that's the plan, ladies and gentlemen. Jesus Christ, how delicious this is. Oof. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My plan was to leave around this time, but as you might notice, it's raining very heavily. Actually, it's raining almost all night long, and it's only getting stronger. And I was checking weather forecast before I left, and this caught me by surprise. But it's rainy season and all that. Nonetheless, it's very tricky because I'm basically trapped in my tent. I'm not looking forward to go out so far. Hopefully this will come down at least a little bit. I mean, mild rain, that would be okay. But now it's just pouring. It's just pouring hard. So. Whoa. Ancient Incas used to say that if it rains hard, this means that gods are urinating on all of us. Ancient Incas never said that. I came up with this like a minute ago. But what I wanted to say is that heavy rainfall is very important natural phenomena that takes place in northwestern Argentina every rainy season. And this rain is very needed. However, personally for me, at the very moment, this rain is not needed at all. And it really caught me off guard because I was checking forecasts before I went on this little trip. It just happened. It is what it is, I guess. Nonetheless, I'm pretty damn sure that today I won't see any condors. Definitely I'm not taking any pictures whatsoever. What's even worse is that at the moment I find myself right next to the peak of the mountain. So it's very likely that I'm literally sitting in a cloud and it's just pouring and pouring all over. Also, there's like thick fog and I can barely see more than 20-30 meters ahead. So it might get a little bit tricky to go back to the village, because paths in here are not very easily visible, even in plain daylight, and in this fog, as thick as this one, it might be tricky. And I'm already waiting in here for like 4 hours. Yeah, 4 hours I'm sitting here, and I think I'll wait one more, and yeah, I think I'm leaving no matter what. I'm pretty sure I could find my way back even in these conditions, and I'm bored. I mean, Snakes of Paraguay is a good read, but it won't last forever, and I'm getting bored, and also I'm hungry and I can't cook and I have no snacks left, so ladies and gentlemen, the village where I came from is somewhere down there. Since most of the cows and horses in the area are just roaming free all over the place around these hills with the supervision of gauchos, to find a dead one is a common sight. Actually, there are bones of dead cows and sometimes dead horses too all over the place. I do believe the mortality rate should be pretty high. I think they die from all kinds of natural causes, you know, just an injury, infection, and that's enough. So this time I chose another path and I came across yet another gaucho house. And I actually know the gaucho who stays here in person. Nice person. Green fields of Salta. Only this time tobacco fields. And this is, ladies and gentlemen, this is where Philip Morris cigarettes appear. So if you happen to be a consumer of cigarettes of this brand, Philip Morris, well, this is where they come from. It's like 1 kilometer left and I'm back in the house. Now that will be a day let's call today. And this is, ladies and gentlemen, Salta, which is officially my favorite beer in South America so far. I could almost say I'm a fan, and you know, I'm from Eastern Europe, so I know what good alcohol is, or at least I'm supposed to know, I guess. So it was quite of a hike. Maybe not that many discoveries as I expected, but still something. And I've seen condors. Sadly, I failed to take any decent videos or pictures, but you know, can't always get what you want, to get what you need. And I wanted to see the condors and I've seen them. Honestly, I must say that I spent reasonable amount of time living in here during the COVID pandemic, during the lockdown, and thanks to my friend Agustin, I could have this great experience. There will always be a little piece of Salta, a little piece of San Agustin in me. And needless to say that these hills and this village and these people living here mean quite a lot to me. So it was really a beautiful experience to come back here and to see these hills once again. So, cheers for the green hills and valleys and mountains of Salta. Always nice to come back. Oh boy, I'm tired. And I need to take a shower.